Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are continuing our long weekend of Luke Cage with episode 2. It's called Code of the Streets. Full spoilers for episode 2, but nothing beyond episode 2. We've not watched it yet, so you're safe up until this point. So episode 2 spoilers. My, this might be shaping up to be something special, because episode 2 I thought was a nice improvement on episode 1.
Oh, I really like this episode.
This, and it's funny because almost everything in it was very well choreographed.
Yeah.
Where you knew exactly where things were going, but it didn't matter because it was been told so well, and that's good storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it starts with obviously the end of the episode where he's standing outside looking at the building, and the guy has a gun to the back of his head, and I was convinced that the episode was going to end with him going in, because it was that trailer we got with him going through the building and taking out multiple people. I thought, oh, we're getting the Daredevil episode 2 ending with this one, and it didn't do that. Not that it didn't matter that it didn't do it. I'm sure we'll get that 3 or 4.
We know it's coming. It's in the trailer.
But I was expecting it because of that setup at the start.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so this episode obviously follows on a lot from the first one, where the last kid who survived, Chico, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He's on the run. Cottonmouth is looking for him. He's got his people looking for him, and Pop's asked Luke Cage to look for him first because he wants him not to die, because he knew his father in the past, and they had a friendship for all whatever for whatever wrongdoing he did or whatever his faults were. There was a bond there, and he wants Luke to find him so he can set up a safe meet and deal with this without any more bloodshed. Which I immediately think this is a bad idea. The villains in these things never go for this.
It's a shame because the actual core idea was good.
Well, it was. Yeah.
It should have worked.
And the funny thing is that had it not been for a certain henchman later on, I mean, I don't know if it would have went through as Pop wanted it, but it certainly wouldn't have turned out as it did.
Oh, absolutely not. Like you say, it may not have gone quite according to Pop's ideal plan, but it almost certainly would have been better than the reality.
Yes. So of course Luke finds him. Chico at first doesn't want anything to do with it, but then he shows up at the shop, and I think we'll save all the stuff that falls on from that till later. Let's talk about Misty and her partner coming round to the shop and questioning Pop, and then Luke just stepping out, and
Yeah.
the wonderful awkwardness between them.
It's when she introduces herself as detective, and she goes, "Oh, that's not an auditor's outfit."
Yeah, nah, that was good stuff. But the scene I really liked in the shop was when Cottonmouth and Shades and Henchman Dude, I can't remember Henchman Dude's name, but the
Doesn't
one,
matter anymore.
yeah, doesn't matter anymore. He's gone. But so see his entrance into the shop, and this goes back to it feeling like a western. It felt like the villain walking into the saloon.
It really did. Everything about this scene felt like it, because you even had the other two guys sat there like playing chess, and it just felt like people sat there drinking and listening in.
It felt very much like that. It was the opening scene, that scene, and then of course the ending and the shootout. All of that that was the western elements.
Yeah,
and that was when the score again did the. It's not even just the rhythm you were talking about. It's also even though it's still kind of soul music, the way they're singing, it sounds a lot like the singing you'd get in a western track as well.
it does.
There's
Yeah,
like a weird middle ground that they're kind of finding.
that
there.
wasn't in it as much in the first episode, I don't think, but it definitely was there this time.
Yeah, because it was really making me think of scenes like that. But yeah, him walking in, and the tension is like as Pop shaving him with a razor. I'm like, oh, he's going to cut him. He's going to accidentally cut him. This is going to go bad. Like I'm on the edge of my seat, thinking that something's
And
going to go
I
wrong.
loved Luke like counting them out and like eyeing up who's there and who's armed and
Yeah, like he's like if I go for these guys, like can I get to them quick enough that they won't shoot someone else? Like
and then he has obviously he asks Pop like, do you need me to do this?
yeah.
With the towels metaphor.
Yeah, it was a really great scene, and I was tense the entire time. It was just solidly done, and I think the show's pacing picked up in this episode as well. It didn't feel as off as the first one did, because that was my main complaint in the first one. I feel like here it definitely it felt more natural, even though the episode is longer than the first one. It didn't matter because the story that was there fit into that runtime perfectly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good. And there's a lot of the other touches. I'm Joe who's really grown on me. Shades. The way Shades delivers his lines and like takes off his glasses and like just stands in the corner looking at people as like Cottonmouth's giving his speeches. That's really grown on me. I don't know what it is, but there's something so cheesy but wonderful about him.
I don't know. The first few times it was just cheesy and out of place, but now it feels like he's just owning it. And it's like he knows it's almost cheesy, but it's like I don't care. It's like he's daring them to say something.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to like. Yeah, it's like his power is big enough on the street that he gets away with doing this silly act almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the way he also plays everything like so laid back and stuff. Like when obviously they're going to show, he's like, maybe we should just wait till they come outside. It plays everything so casually.
He clearly has more brains in him than Henchman dude did.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, because I mean, this is another one where I think the second half of the episode was just, it was just great scene after great scene, because you have the shootout scene, which is really, really tense, and it's a really good moment, because again, the western, and it's more villain style western music comes in, and I love that it's a good character moment for Luke as well, because Luke immediately goes to the kid.
Yeah.
Because the kid's sitting there getting his hair cut, and Luke goes for him and shields him. He doesn't go for Pop, even though Pop's the one that he's obviously the closest to. He goes for the kid.
Yeah. He does the more obviously right thing.
Yeah, and even he says it to Misty when Misty comes to the crime scene afterwards. He says, "My instincts kicked in."
Yeah.
And it's letting us know about Luke and where his morals are, and who he is as a man, despite whatever his past is. And in fact, speaking of that, I love the line when he's talking to Pop about like his time in prison, and Pop's talking about his like darker days, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not guilty, but that doesn't mean I'm innocent." Like
I really like that stuff with Pop's background as well.
Oh, the flashback to and it's all scratchy like the '70s and
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. But no, the shootout's great. Everything played around in slow motion, and you're like, is Pop going to get hit? And then of course he does get hit. Because I was off two minds, because I always thought, yeah, he's probably going to be gone by the end of the season. I can see that being a big turning point in the show, but I didn't necessarily think it was going to be this early. Like I could have seen that being.
It feels like a end of second act moment.
Yeah, it feels like episode 8, 9 kind of thing, where they're setting up for that big, final push of like, okay, he needs to get the villain now. Like he's put him over the edge.
Which makes me wonder, if this had happened so early, what else are they going to put Luke through?
That's a really good point. It's a really good point. But no, I really liked all that stuff. I love Misty questioning, because she sees the bullet holes in the back of his shirt, and she's like, "You didn't get hit?"
He's just like, "I said I'm fine."
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't say he didn't get hit. He just said he's fine.
Yeah, but everything that counts down to this though, because we see Turk, who we know from Daredevil, kicking around, and obviously his line later on, he's like, he's like, I'm going back to Hell's Kitchen.
It's safer.
It's safer there, which is funny because we've seen him get the crap beat out of him by Daredevil, and he's like, no, I'm going back to Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
But everything counts down to, because when he sees Chico in the back, you're like, oh no, this is it.
Yeah.
He's been spotted, and it's all counting down. And it feels like an impending doom throughout. So no, all that stuff's really good. It works again. That's what helps the pacing of this one. Is everything feels like it's counting down to something.
I think it's also the fact that we'd seen the ending, so it's like we know we've got to hit this point by this time. Like, so there's only a limited amount of time. You've got to get to something.
And of course, after the shootout scene, we go back to the club, and Shades and Henchman Dude inform Cottonmouth of on the roof of what's happened, and that they've got the money back. And again, it's all counting down. As the scene's going on, you know it's going to go bad, because it starts off, we got the money. It's like, and Cottonmouth assumes, oh, you did what you had to do, because I told you only to take him if he goes out in the street. If because he says if he stays in the same place, leave him there. I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. Yeah. And he's like, nah, you weren't. He's like, I made an executive decision, was the phrase he used.
Yeah. Oh, that is the classic phrase for overstepping boundaries right there.
Yeah, but then he even says, yeah, we have to show them that they can't, double cross Cottonmouth, and that's the first time, because we heard all through the first episode that he doesn't like that you can't say that in front of him.
And as soon as you say it, that's one hell of a slip up.
Yeah, and that's when obviously Cottonmouth screams at him, "That's not my name." Do you know that Ting Ting song just popped out in my head as I said that?
Oh, jeez, that's a throwback.
I know, I know, I know. It's just because I said that's not my name, and then all I could hear was the drum beat in my head.
Yeah, yeah, I got it now. Damn it.
Dear.
But no, I love that. Like, even after this, he's like, okay, fine, right. Let's evaluate the situation. We'll give Pop some money.
Yeah,
We'll
he calms
smooth it
down.
over.
Yeah, he calms down. He won't like it, but we'll give him some. Yeah, he calms down. But we already know. We know what's happened.
So it's another moment of like, oh, what's his reaction going to be now?
You keep feeling things in the gut of your stomach, and that's a sign of a really good show. It's a sign of really good storytelling that you're feeling in that gut of your stomach. That moment where you know something bad's going to happen. And I wouldn't necessarily say that we care about these characters on this rooftop. I mean, they're all villains. It's not like we're.
No, they're well written, but you're not supposed to care about them.
It's not like Pop, whereas Pop we legit feel bad that he's gone. We're like, no, we don't want him to die. He's a good person, you know.
Yeah.
He's got a good heart. And he even says he shops like Switzerland, and that kind of makes sense because the criminals come there and get shaved, and the detectives come and like chat with them, and they're quite friendly with them. Well,
Yeah.
Misty was. The partner was kind of a dick, but, you know. So we care about Pop. We're invested in him. We see him as a good person, as someone who, for whatever he's done in the past, he is trying to right his wrongs, and he's trying to be this, you know. And it's kind of, and it does feel it's. I said the thing in the last episode was the Uncle Ben stuff, whereas this is more the Uncle Ben stuff directly.
Because this is like him as the mentor, the guiding hand.
The men,
to
you know.
Luke.
Because he basically, I mean, he doesn't say with great power comes great responsibility, but he essentially does. And also, I really like that he calls him Power Man.
He's done it. He did it in the first episode.
He
as
did.
well.
I forgot to mention it then, but I like that it's a running thing, at least until now.
I feel like that's how if Luke does take on the name, he'll do it because that he called him that.
I agree. I don't necessarily think he will, though. I feel like it might just be.
I agree. I'm not sure if he
Because even
should.
in the comics, they don't really use it anymore.
No, which I mean, I'm not even sure they should. But I mean, if they were going to, that would be the reason why.
Yeah, and it would work. I'd buy it. Like,
yeah,
that'd be totally fine. So, no, but yeah, back to this rooftop scene, and then Turk shows up really awkwardly, and he's like, "Where's my money?" He offered me money for giving you information.
I was like, "How'd you even get here?"
He's
Turk. Like, it's Turk. Ain't no dog can stop me.
And then, of course, the actual moment where he throws him off the roof, he throws henchman guy off the roof in the fit of rage, is a fantastic moment. It's just fantastically shot, the way the camera goes over, and it's a very neat trick as well, because there's a moment where it's gone over the edge where you can't see anything, and there's probably a cut slipped in there, but if there's not a cut, it's definitely the swap to the dummy / the CG whatever they used for the body, and it looked really good as it hit the car.
Yeah, the whole thing there, it was stunningly visceral.
It was.
Because it snaps in an instant. Like, he's still acting cool, even though you can kind of see the rage simmering. And then as soon as he does it, it's like, right, that's it, gone. It happens so quickly.
Yeah. So that was a really great scene. There was scenes like this that have got me really excited now for the rest of this show, where I'm like, okay, you have a chance to even outshine the other ones.
You had the second great monologue of this show from Luke at the
end. Yeah, it cuts back to actually before we go into that, I just want to mention at the crime scene after the shootout, that most of that's in one shot. It's in one take as it swoops around the scene.
Yeah,
and it ends on a close up of Luke's face. I really like the camera work there. It was really good.
Yeah, good quality. Like, all these Marvel shows have had great camera work, to be fair.
Oh, they have, yeah. But you know, I will call it out when I feel there's a reason to call it out. But yeah, the monologue at the end, it continues the opening scene, and you know, Luke, you know, it brings in a little bit of that, you know, the historical stuff, you know, that the history of Harlem, the history of, you know, black people in America, and you know what that means, and you know,
there's a lot of passion in the monologue.
There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of, you know, what does it mean to stand up? Because I can't remember the famous person he's talking about. Forgive us, we don't get taught American history in school in the UK when we were growing up. But you know, he's talking about how he stood up, regardless of the fact that it probably meant he was going to get shot down. He stood up, and that's what Pop did, and that's what he's going to do. And this is his motivation. This first 2 episodes has all been about building him up to that point where he's like, no, I'm going to take on the bad guys.
Yeah, definitely. And it's fantastic, and just seeing the guy run away after he shoots his stomach and like nothing happens.
Yeah, and that's where we end. That's end
Yeah.
episode 2. So no, really, really good, strong episode. Better than episode 1. Has me pumped for the rest.
Yeah. The other thing I really liked in the episode as well was the stuff with Misty Knight, at the basketball. Get a
Oh
bit
yeah,
about her as a person, where she's come from, like what sort of crowd that she was in before she was a detective.
yeah. She's someone who's you know deeply rooted in this neighborhood, in this area. She's
She's got her initials in the ground.
exactly. She's got her initials in the ground, and she's good at basketball.
Yeah. But no,
So
I realized that just helped establish her a bit more and give her some history.
yeah, yeah. So one of the things I liked about her scenes with Luke in this one is there's that first scene where it's very awkward and very like because she's like, oh, he's caught me, I have but then the second time they meet it's in the crime scene and there's like it's a very different type of chemistry
Yeah, definitely.
where regardless of the lies, regardless of whatever, there's like they
That
both
doesn't matter anymore.
yeah they both care about Pop, so there's chemistry in that scene that wasn't in the first one, and it's just a good acting as well. I mean, if nothing
Yeah,
else.
it's fantastic stuff.
So, that's episode 2. We will be back with episode 3 later. Same day, same night, whatever time it is in your time zone. And thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Let us know what you thought of episode 2 in the comments below. Keep watching Luke Cage. We will see you next time.